relate to the Anglo-Saxon, Slavic, or Latin. What they strive for centuries is independence. And so when came the Spanish Civil War, some of them joined us. It wasn't the majority. The majority wanted to independence, and as now you see that they have a group of people who strive to get to independence, and they commit some terroristic attack against the Spanish government. And so I don't believe the Basque people play an important role. They were undecided, and maybe majority were with us, the Republican side, but some also served with Frankfurt.
Then, right there.
Yeah, well, from Molly George. A couple of years ago, 2003, when the war began in Iraq, we organized what we thought was very similar on the model of the International Brigade. We went to Baghdad as Union Shields. We had 500 people from 34 countries, and our model was the International Brigade. Some of our people came back, were hassled by the U.S. government, they have liens against them, a lot of things. George says Roosevelt was the best of the U.S. presidents. I disagree. Could you tell me how many people came back from the International Brigades and were hassled by the government, placed in jail for the violations of the Neutrality Act or any of the persecutions that occurred when people came back from Spain to the U.S.? Could you talk about that?
Before we left in January of '37, there had already been instituted in the Congress the House Committee on Un-American Activities. This was in reaction to the upsurge and the movement to the left on the parts of masses of American people, and their objective was to try to stop it. The harassment consisted of asking questions, and if they could catch you in a lie, getting the House to agree to what was the penalty, and you could serve up to a year in jail for lying. Not because you were a member of the Communist Party or a member of this or a member of that, just for lying. The harassment became more intense during, well, there was some harassment during World War II, in that the Army was interested in getting a questionnaire to all of the Americans who had fought in Spain. Why? Because they were the most recent Americans who had endured battle. And they approached the leadership of the organization, and we saw the list of questions that they asked. We agreed to send it out. And the most important point in that was motivation. And the main point we made about that motivation was that if you were informed, if you knew what the heck you were fighting about, you were a better fighting man. And I'm digressing. Get back to the point. We were harassed during the McCarthy period. A special law was passed called the House Subversive Activities Act, in which, with no hearings and so on, the Soviet Union was proclaimed an enemy of the United States, and that it had its forces working in the United States, and they were the Communist Party, and all members of the Communist Party should register. They had a second part of the act, which was, I think, directed at us, but it was directed at organizations who were tools of the Communist Party. And the list that they used for this was the list promulgated by then attorney, what's the name of the guy that now goes all over the place?
Tom Clark, you're talking about.
Who?
Tom Clark was his
Clark, Tom Clark, thank you, thank you. In any case, to make a long story short, we decided that most of those organizations were out of business. They couldn't afford to fight them. We decided to fight them. Why? Because it abrogated the constitutional right of Americans to join any organization they pleased, as long as they didn't break the law. And we were not breaking the law. In any case, to make a long story short, we won it. That was the kind of harassment. There was some other harassment. Answer your question?
Well, the Neutrality Act. I know people who were arrested when they got off boats coming back.
No, the only ones who were arrested when they got off the boats were the ones who were non-citizens. They had what was called the green card, and if you had the green card then, you had to report to the embassy once a year, and the men fighting at the front were in no position to do it.
Talk to Eddie Belchowski. He's dead.
Who?
Eddie Belchowski.
Okay, let's keep.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. The next question. What is it? George is going to answer
I
this.
have a comment, actually.
Into the mic.
This isn't an application.
Well, you tell us and we'll tell him.
I just wanted to say that you guys, that I feel that all of us really want to thank you because you guys have inspired our generation, I think, to go out and think internationally in a way that otherwise we haven't. And there are very few heroes that we can thank. And my brother here and I, our great uncle died in Spain. And so we haven't been able to properly thank you guys for doing this. That you did it means a tremendous amount to, I feel like, what has happened in the world and our ability and our confidence in ourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That you're the hero. That you guys are heroes. Yeah. It wasn't a question. She was just saying thank you.